like to thank you for this day, for all your many blessings, Lord. I'd like to ask a special blessing on all the ones that's on the front, the doctors and the nurses and the public safety and the armed forces that keep us safe and out of harm's way. Lord, I'd like to ask a blessing on every family this year that's lost loved ones going through this Christmas and Thanksgiving season. This the first year is the toughest, and I'd like you to be with them and remind us what Christmas is all about. Lord, I'd like to ask you to guide these commissioners and all the decisions they make, that they will be pleasing you. These things I ask in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We've got 3, maybe 4 more seats in here if anyone would like to come in and sit down. Something that I failed to do, if you have your cell phones on, if you would silence them, we would appreciate it. We're going to have now the roll call. Ms. Gaines, if you would call the roll, please.
I, Olivia Gaines, President and Clerk of the Board of Commissioners of Bullitt County, hereby call the roll for those on the governing body. All those present shall answer by saying aye. Chairman Roy Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Ray Mosley.
Aye.
Commissioner Jeffrey Stringer.
Aye.
Commissioner Kurt Beal.
Aye.
Commissioner Tim Brushing.
Aye.
Commissioner Walter Gibson. I have determined that we have 6 members of the Board of Commissioners present. Therefore, we have a quorum to conduct business for the good of the citizens of Bullitt County. I now give the floor to the chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Gaines. I'm going to now turn the meeting over to Mr. Newman for our zoning, but I also would like to, we need a motion to approve the zoning agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion second, all those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous approval. All right, Mr. Newman.
Okay, our first item tonight, Mr. Pliny Rulikit submitted an application for a text amendment to allow for chickens to be allowed as pets in residential zone districts. Now, Planning and Zoning Commission made a recommendation to deny the request. Now, he submitted basically some type of ordinance that was from another jurisdiction, but actually it does not exactly fit into our zoning ordinance. If you look at the screen, this is kind of located where the subdivision is. It's off of Burkhalter, and he lives right on the corner lot. And the reason we were here tonight is because we did have some complaints about him and wound up having to go to magistrate court because he did not get rid of the chickens as he was instructed. And this is just some photos of the subdivision. And so the day I went out there to take pictures, he still had chickens in the pen. As you can see, there's a rooster right there. And what I have highlighted is where his pen is. And we did have some complaints, and the neighbor right behind him complained that the chickens were getting out, getting into his pool and in his yard. Now, Mr. Pliny, I do not believe is here tonight. No, sir, I do not see him. So I do not have anybody to speak for this item tonight.
Okay. Do we have any discussion, questions from the commission board? Then I'm going to ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we deny this request.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous approval that the motion was denied.
All right. Our second item tonight, Mr. Tommy Martin submitted an application for a conditional use for a cottage industry to allow the sale of antiques and collectibles. The property is located at 10083 Highway 80 East. That's between Brooklet and Stilson. Planning and zoning recommendation was to approve with the conditions. Now, you can see this is the property. There used to be, right next door to it was the Bark Farm, who has relocated to Millie, correct, Mr. Tom?
Yes,
Okay. And this is the sign on his property, and this is Highway 80. You see, there's not a whole lot right there where he's at. And this is 80 back, and this was, it's kinda hard to tell, but that's where the bark plant used to be. And this is his yard, and this is the building he'll be doing the business in. So, Mr. Martin, if you would, come forward.
Mr. Martin, if you would state your name and address for the record, so that Mr. Olympia could write it down, please.
Tommy Martin, 100 Highway 80, Brooklyn.
Okay. Now you can proceed with.
Well, the reason I wanted to open a little shop and make a little extra money, I'm drawing disability insurance, Social Security, and I don't have enough money to survive, that's the reason I want to do it.
Now, Mr. Chairman, I would like to say that Mr. Martin did have a business on this property in the past, but unfortunately it had been closed for 6 months, so he lost his grandfather right to do it. So that's why we're here, to ask for the conditional use for the cottage industry.
I would like for you to know I've enjoyed seeing all of the antiques and things like that that you have had posted in the past. Now, we have any questions or comments from the commissioners?
Mr. Newman, you have nobody to sign to speak against it?
Sir?
You have nobody to sign to speak against it?
No.
With that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that this be allowed with the condition.
All right. We have a motion second, any more discussion? Let's practice something, let's have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Rushing, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Stringer, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Gibson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Mosley, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Deal, how do you vote?
Yes.
See unanimous vote, Jimmy.
Thank you very much, and unanimous approval for this conditional use. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Chairman, that's all I have for zoning tonight.
All right. Before I entertain a motion to approve the general agenda, do we have any other discussion modifications desired by the county manager or the board?
County manager has none this evening, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any commissioners, any change?
Make a motion we approve the general agenda.
Have a motion to approve?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous approval. General agenda is approved. Moving next to public comment. Is there anyone, Mr. David, I believe that, all right, now's the time to, well, is Miss Cindy Smith here? All right, then, if you'll come to the podium, state your name and address, and as always, we have 4 minutes allotted, and we will have the timer on. So, when you, after you give your name and address, and you start your comments, and he'll start the clock.
My name is David Reed, 98 Highway 46, Statesboro. And the problem I got was the code people, was the building people. I mean, you go on their website, they supposed to do this and do this and do that, and certified checklist, what they're supposed to check off. It ain't been done, you know. Then there's some stuff been changed against the code, against the fire hazard. You can go to Whirlpool, GE, Maytag, Kenmore, LG, and look at their manuals set up in dryers. It tells you metal pipe. Then I called the PVC makers. They said their pipe was made for water or sewage. I mean, you ain't gonna get nothing from them. You know, I think that was a bad choice. Because every house I've been to, I can't see why it was changed. I mean, you can run up if you washing dryers in that room, you got to run outside, you can run up through the wall, go to the attic and go out and go through the room. Yeah, I think that's a bad code change. Cause I ain't seen the first house, I couldn't get the vent out.
Well, I have actually asked Mr. Newman to do some homework today, and I have done a lot myself. And I would like for him to explain about the difference, or the PVC versus the metal. And I can't give you an opinion because I don't know, I'm not a professional, or none of these men up here.
See, I'm gonna give you why the PVC makers or dryer makers. PVC is rated for 140 degrees temperature. And they don't know where that dryer will tear up, go crazy or not. It can melt the pipe under the concrete and cause a lint rise. And ain't nobody gonna guarantee their pipe, for 100. They got pipe for 180 degrees, CPVC. But you're looking at $250 a stick for them. About $50 a fitting. It's rated for 180 degrees, but regular PVC ain't rated for that temperature.
Well, Mr. Reed, why exactly, have you been to Bryan County, Effingham? Every surrounding county around us allows the PVC under the slab for dryer vents. And if you look at the code, you can actually have a downdraft from a stove that goes into PVC pipe.
Yeah, you can.
And to me, that is more dangerous because you have a more potential grease fire down underneath than you would the dryer.
I was taught the manual of a piece of equipment overrides the code. The manual calls for metal pipe, anything else was a fire hazard. That's in the manual. And I was taught the manual overrides the code. Because they've got UL approved and everything else.
Well, I spoke to the head inspector, city of Statesboro today too, and he says that as far as he's concerned, he allows it too.
Well, I've seen the cities metal duct.
Well, yeah, some people do put the metal, and the metal up under a slab.
You don't put it under a slab. It may go under a slab.
I know, it's not, but that's where they have to run them sometimes.
You go straight up the roof.
And you don't think that's more dangerous than going up underneath the slab to try to send lint up into the roof?
You got a lint trap on your dryer, you got a lint trap behind your dryer, above your
Okay.
dryer.
That's if they install it, yes.
That's 2 lint traps.
If it's installed correctly, yes.
That ain't my job, look.
Well, sir, the code allows us under 104.10, 104.11 to make, administrative changes if we believe it deemed
But
necessary.
it tells you not to go lesser than what the code calls for material. It tells you not to go no lesser than what the code calls for.
Well, sir, we have, we're not the only ones that allow it.
No.
Okay?
Well-
And we allow it under the slab, and what's the chances that we have been through and researched it. This is Joe Douglas, the inspector. We have researched and we have not found one fire in the United States that was caused by the PVC pipe under the slab.
Tell them that.
What percentage of it was from
43% of dryer fires are fires caused by dryers caused by lint.
Lint.
Of that 43%, 98% occur between the machine and the duct, which is the flexible duct that goes out. So almost half of dryer fires that are caused by the lint in the flexible duct. Because people put an 8-foot duct on, which is the longest by code you can have, so you can pull your dryer out and clean behind it. They put the duct in, push it back, and the duct gets tangled up. That's where it catches. The lint catches in there. A PVC pipe will not catch lint like that corrugated metal will.
But it will cause a static electricity and catch it.
There is a potential, yes.
Yes.
I've never seen
There is a
one cause
potential,
fire.
but there has never been a case in the United States of a dryer fire lint being called.
What you saying, if the house catch a fire in this county, because of PVC, the county gonna be liable for it? Because you say.
It would be the
they
first
ain't-
time in the United
they ain't-
States.
They ain't, I mean, that's what you trying to tell me.
I'm just trying to tell you, sir, that we have allowed it, and also every county
I
surrounding
mean,
us.
why you do it? I mean, metal pipes, the codes, and that R 104.10 tells you modifications, but you're supposed to be up in manuals. I ain't trying to be hard headed, I like the answer. Then that R 104.11 tells you about the material. You know, you don't downgrade from the material from the code. So I can answer.
The answer is that we and several other inspectors have allowed it in this part of the country because of the soil, and you can't put metal up underneath the slab. You put PVC up underneath the slab. You could put PVC for a downdraft stove,
Yeah,
which has grease in it, that has a better chance of catching fire than a dryer vent.
Well, that's a 6-inch stove pipe.
Okay, well, we're talking a 4-inch for a dryer, which is not, you know. Mr. Reed, I don't think we're gonna come to any kind of
No, it
conclusion
ain't.
right now.
It ain't right.
And
Well, I'm trying to tell you, it ain't right.
Well, can you show me where it has been dangerous, where somebody has gotten hurt because of it?
I ain't no fire department. I don't keep records, you know. What I'm saying-
You sent me one about a fire
And they'll
in
got
Elevator.
killed.
And
Oh,
would you please just?
I don't know, I got it off the internet. It was on Georgia,
Okay,
Okay, I had the actual.
said fire investigator
The
said.
different fire investigator, and it states in here, and I talked to the, assistant chief and the battalion chief. And that fire, which caused it, first off, was a 40-year-old mobile home. We don't inspect mobile homes inside when they're put into the county. They're inspected at the factory when they're made. This was what's called a direct vent dryer, which means the dryer is backed up to an exterior wall and it has the metal duct that goes right out. It's about maybe a foot, 18 inches long. The fire was caused, again, by the lint under the dryer because it was failed to be cleaned, and in the duct work, the corrugated duct that goes from the dryer to the vent. That's where that fire started. As you were reading with the dryer manufacturers, they recommend every 3 months that you clean out your dryer vent.
People don't do
I've been in the fire company for 25 years. I have never cleaned mine out every 3 months. I do it once a year. You're supposed to clean your internal vents before and after you use your dryer. No one does that.
it. No, I mean, that's why you got.
But that's where the fires start. They do not start in the PVC duct. There has never been a case. I spoke with Ken Bush, who is the Chief Fire Protection Engineer for Maryland, and also is a code writer for National Fire Protection Agency. And he said the same thing, that he knows of. There has never been a reported fire in a PVC duct in the United States. Never happened.
I don't know. But you read the temperature range on the dryers. It ain't made.
But
well, if a dryer's putting out that much heat, it's not very efficient.
Oh, it ain't.
Because they're supposed to be.
So
heating
People got
inside.
20-year-old dryers.
And if that dryer caught fire and burned, the cause of that fire will not be the duct.
No,
The cause of that
they
fire will
rigged
be
up-
dryer
They
manufacturer.
rigged up on the dryer.
Dryer malfunction.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. In a minimum,
may I have the floor briefly?
yes, sir.
Thank you. I don't think the discussion of this particular matter may be a productive use in this meeting. I mean, I understand what Mr. Reed's concern is, but I don't understand what he wants or what his expectations are. And most of us in the room are laypersons when it comes to this. I mean, I could read stuff from Underwriters Laboratory and all kinds of HUD codes and building codes and things like that. I tried to do so last week, but it just gave me a headache. But ultimately, you know, the one several sources that I did read, which provoked me to clean my own dryer vent past weekend, is that most fires that do occur from dryer vents is a lack of maintenance, regardless of what kind of material that you use. And, you know, the HUD code, which is under our our manufactured housing ordinance relies on the HUD code or HUD standards and, for manufactured homes. And there is no specification for a material for a closed dryer vent other than you have one. Now, if you're referring to the standard building codes for conventional, we like to call it stick-built housing here. Yeah, it is more specific about having metal vents.
That's what I'm talking about.
But that's where it conflicts. I think our manufactured housing code prevails, and if it doesn't specify the type of material for the dryer vent, then I believe that the chief building inspector is permitted to make an administrative determination on what's appropriate. I can't tell you about static electricity in a PVC pipe any more than, you know, getting down to minutia, like you're not supposed to put metal screws into a metal dryer vent because the lint will clog. But I do know this, you know, the dryers, because they're drying clothes, creates moisture. The moisture is associated with the lint. The most important thing is whatever material that you're using, you got to keep the vents clean, you got to keep the track clean, you got to clean out your air filter in your dryer, and that will reduce your risk of having any kind of fire, regardless of what material you use. And then my thinking is, you know, if Mr. Reed, although there's going to be a cost associated with it that would accrue to him, if he wanted to install a metal vent, I don't think there's anything that would prevent him from doing so, you know, other than the additional cost of it. So, having said all that, I don't know that you as a commission can resolve this, but then furthermore, I don't really know what Mr. Reed's expectations are, whether it's he wants some kind of relief from the inspections that were given by the county, or if his expectation is to follow a code that I think Mr. Newman has the discretion to choose how he wants to apply them. So this is really murky for this kind of meeting, but I think unless Mr. Reed can clarify his expectations, I don't know what you can be expected to tell him in return.
I just want to know where y'all ain't going by the code. I ain't talking about my son's mobile home. I'm talking about 40 houses right there, Sandalwood, guys. There's one running under the dirt, coming up the dirt with a 90 out. You tell me how the lint comes out of that one.
Well,
You tell me how the lint comes out of that one.
I
A 90 coming up and a 90 coming out. You tell me the lint
Well,
comes out of
the
that one.
code, you can
The
give you
lint
a
won't come
link.
out of that one.
Okay, I give up.
the only
You
thing
tell me about that one.
the only thing I can tell you is there are two different codes that we have. One for manufactured housing, which we
Fire
have,
marshal, state fire marshals over there.
right, and
Then international
no, there's
mechanical code.
no, the International Mechanical Code applies to conventional stick-built housing. Now that doesn't mean you can't apply it with manufactured housing, but I think Randy and chief building inspectors who preceded him have, since the HUD code is silent, have relied on the installation of a PVC pipe, which there has apparently been, according to what I'm hearing, no record of incident. So I think the codes you're talking about applied it strictly to conventional stick-built housing. Like I said, it doesn't mean you can't use them on a manufactured home. Tell me if I'm wrong, Randy, but, you know, Bullitt County has not chosen to do that. They follow the HUD code. The HUD code is silent on the material, and Bullitt County has chosen to allow PVC. So I guess unless there's some rational, objective, scientific evidence that shows why it isn't appropriate to use in a manufactured home, I don't know that the Board of Commissioners can really intervene or offer relief on it.
But you said, ain't no use in go back on what you just said.
Is dropped. Every time I call them, they come out. Now, they have bigger fish to fry. Murders, kidnappings, family disputes with involving guns. And I do the best I can, but they need help, I need help. Now, I do my own patrolling. Sometimes I don't do it anymore at night. The sheriff said, no, don't do that. It's not good for you. So I do mine in the daylight. And my problem has escalated. I got people stealing from me, people trying to scare me away from my home. And I've got some of the good old boys shot my dog Henry. Henry was a dump out dog. I took Henry in, cared for him, and he's a great watchdog. And Henry is on the job. I'm out on patrol. The sheriff needs more help. You guys need to step up to the plate and get more help for this county. We live in a wonderful county, and people coming in from other states, other counties, other countries causing problems.
We certainly thank you for coming again tonight. Now, we have no one else to speak in the public comments, so we'll close the public comments and we're going to move into the consent agenda. We have 12 items on the consent agenda. We can vote, we can single one out or several out on a new business, or we can vote on this collectively all at once. And so need a motion about the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we vote on collectively.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval. Consent agenda is approved. Moving into new business, we have a discussion, action, new vehicle correctional institute, and Mr. Is anyone here going to discuss that? Okay.
Mr. Coon, the assistant warden.
Okay.
Well, thank you for letting me come this evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Appreciate it very much. Good news at first, though. It's not a discussion about a new vehicle, so we'll be saving a little money here from the jump start. Basically, we're trying to be good stewards and seek the Commissioner's approval to bid in an upcoming auction with the Accurate Equipment Sales, an auction company down in Register, Georgia. Basically, we have maybe a long-term plan to replenish some of our older vehicles. We currently have 12 pool vehicles that we use to transport inmates and to go out and check on inmate details and to haul various things around the county through transport vans, 4 sedans, 5 pickup trucks. The average year model on those is 2009. The average mileage is about 108,000. I think you have the information in front of you. Not to belabor the point, but we do have 3 vehicles, 3 pickup trucks that we're targeting. 2 of those. One is unserviceable, it's a Chevy pickup, and 2 Ford F-150s with $150,000 and $160,000 miles respectively on the 2 vehicles. So hopefully we'll be able to phase in by going to the auction and looking at some vehicles. Accurate Equipment Products pretty much consists of a fleet that's been with the Southern Company. They do Georgia Power, Mississippi Power, Alabama Power. Their fleets are well known for being well maintained. They have good service records. They have a good fleet maintenance program at the Southern Company. They also have a very rigorous check and balance system on people who are driving the vehicles. So typically those vehicles are in pretty good shape. I think a couple of folks in the room have purchased vehicles from the company. So we'd like to take a look at those. And even if we get approval tonight, doesn't mean we're going to buy vehicles. We'll look at the vehicles and see if they're appropriate. If not, then we won't overpay and waste the taxpayer dollars. Fay Bragg provided some information on government contract pricing for new vehicles for 2021 Ford F-150 equipped with the things that we would need to have on a vehicle like that. The vehicle cost for a new vehicle is about $32,500 for an F-150. The vehicles we're looking at are about 2000, year model 2015, anywhere from 30,000 on up, but still again in really good shape. If we can find them, those the NADA value on those is about 21,000. So a very comparable vehicle for much less of a price. The retail price for a used vehicle like those is about 21. We're hoping to be able to get those at auction between 10,000 and 15,000 a vehicle. So it'd be a total cost for two vehicles of $30,000 or less. The city manager down at Lyons, this is the last point down here, has successfully used those vehicles and gone down and utilized that auction for several years. They report very good results from the county, from the organization. They pay about $10,000 to $11,000 a vehicle. So we hope to be in that range as well, and that's what we'll be looking for. We don't plan to purchase any more than two vehicles, and no more than $30,000 if we were able to find two good vehicles. The payment's got to be made 2 business days after the actual auction. So again, we're just asking for the board's permission to do that. Randy's a vehicle guy. He likes looking at vehicles and repairing them. He'd probably be the one to go down and look at the auction. I might go down with him just for fun, see what they have. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for giving me your time.
And thank you, Mr. Newman. And ultimately, the ask for this permission to do this is a result of the fact that they're asking for a waiver from our purchasing policy. We don't have any provision that specifically addresses these kinds of auctions, but we've reviewed it at the management level, and we would recommend that you approve this permission.
Do we have any questions from the commissioners or comments?
Chairman, I move we approve this proposal to participate.
Okay. Second. I have a motion, I have a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor of the motion, show of hands. Unanimous approval, so you can certainly proceed. And it's not every day that somebody comes in and tries to save money for the county. And we appreciate those efforts. And so hopefully it will work. And so we do have the item that I've been looking for tonight, and this is, do we have any comments from the staff? Any comments from the commissioners? If not, we appreciate everybody coming, and so hearing no comments, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
Second.
Have a motion, second. All those in favor, show of hands. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming very much.